Hey, this is Angie with St. Louis Music Press, and I'm talking to Scottie Miller of the Scottie Miller Band. Well, you've got a show coming up, a CD release show coming up at BB's Jazz Blues and Soups. Say that 10 times fast.
And no doubt. That's right, I do.
Coming up on December 15th for your new release entitled Rise Up.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your Midwest CD release shows that you're doing?
Yeah. I'm really excited to come back to BB's um, Saturday night with this CD. It's been a couple years since we released a new one, and so we're really excited about it. And yeah, the tour starts tomorrow morning. It's just a little miniature Midwest run from Minneapolis, where we're based, to Omaha, and we're playing in Topeka, and then St. Louis at BB's Saturday, and then Sunday we have a show with the Mississippi Valley Blues Society um, at Martini's on the Rocks in Rock Island on Sunday on the way home.
Now, I mainly want to talk about the Scottie Miller Band, but I feel like I need to mention that you've also been touring with Grammy nominated Ruthie Foster. And
Right.
I know there's a story that involves St. Louis and a chain of events of how you became involved with her. Could you tell us
Yeah.
how all that happened?
Yeah, definitely. It's all really tied in to St. Louis and to BB's. And John May, my good friend there, who books us and runs the bar. Um, let's see, it was like 2006. I was a finalist in the International Blues Challenge in Memphis, and John May gave me a solo booking and a hotel and a meal on the way down to try and help me out. He'd never heard of me. I sent him a CD. He liked what he heard, and said, yeah, come on in and do a solo gig. It's like a Sunday night, 2 hours, and really helped me on the road trip down to this International Blues Challenge. And so ever since then, we started building more shows and bringing my band down to where we built a crowd and built a following and started playing, headlining weekend nights. And one of the shows, John May invited Johnny Johnson down to see us. Johnny Johnson, the late great piano legend from St. Louis. And Johnny came and he sat in and played a couple tunes with my band. And and unfortunately, a month later, as a lot of St. Louis folks know, he passed away. And then I was invited back to play some of his memorial benefits. And through that I met Bo Diddley, and then Bo Diddley's management asked if I'd be interested in doing a tour as Bo's keyboard player. Um, and I did that tour, a 2 month U.S. tour. It was Bo Diddley's last tour before he passed away. 2 months on the road, and the opening act was Ruthie Foster for the tour. So that's how I met Ruthie. And, long drawn out story, I know, but it's all ties back to, John May at BB's. Without him, I wouldn't have met any of these people, Johnny Johnson, then Bo Diddley, and then Ruthie Foster, who I've been touring with now since that time, since 2008. And yeah, she was just nominated for her second Grammy for her new release, Let It Burn. And we won a Blues Music Award with the Live at Antone's DVD, which I'm on last year. So there's just a lot of good things happening with Ruthie. She's just a powerhouse. I love working with her. And then, of course, I split my time with my band, and this eighth release that we're coming out with right now. So.
Could you tell us a little bit about Rise Up, your new CD that's coming out?
Yeah, it was a really fun project, Angie. We recorded it here in Minneapolis at Wild Sound Studios. It features my full band that I'm bringing with me: Mark O'Day, my longtime drummer; Joe Cruz on guitar, mandolin, dobro, Puerto Rican cuatro, acoustic, electric. He plays all sorts of stringed instruments, and Kevin Rao on upright bass. And each of us shared the production duties on the CD. We all had arranging um, influences together. And as you know, we're an independent band. We don't have a formal record label per se, except for our independent label. So it's a real self-produced CD. But I was just really excited with the studio. Wild Sound had, Steinway Grand and a Yamaha Grand and a beautiful Hammond organ and Wurlitzer and just really good microphones for vocals. Probably the best studio experience I've ever had.
Wow, sounds like you were a kid in a candy store there.
Was and just sonically and sound wise, instruments, the guys, their performances. It was just a really fun time. So we also had help from a Kickstarter campaign, which has been kind of a popular fundraising platform. Um, with the better studio, it cost me a little more money. I needed a little money to help finish mastering and duplication. And some of our friends and fans donated $2,900 to help finish it.
Wow.
And plus, a St. Louis friend of ours, Jamie Schroeder, who works with RFT, took the cover photo at BB's. So all the photography on the new CD is done at BB's, which is really fun too.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's all original stuff, like most of my records, except for one song that I covered, Leon Russell's Dixie Lullaby.
And of all the songs in the world to cover, can I ask why did you select Dixie Lullaby?
Yeah, yeah, it just was one of those songs that a lot of people have said, do a cover song or two on your album, and I think they meant more like a really popular band, like, do I don't know, do something like a big hit and make it yours. And I'm like, come up with anything, and I've been playing that Dixie Lullaby. People say it sound a little, remind them like of Leon Russell, and I thought, well, it'd be, let's do a Leon tune. And so I just picked that one because I've been playing it a lot at solo piano gigs when I play solo, and it's just perfect for my southern swampy New Orleans referenced type of music.
Yeah, it seems like that would be a great fit for you.
Yeah, we kind of dragged it out a little, made it a little swampier yet, and it's got harmonica by Harold Tremblay, who's a great harp player here in the Twin Cities, works at KFAI Radio, our community radio station, and he came in, and so it's really got a nice organic barrel house sound with upright bass, real second liney feel with the drums, some mandolin and piano and harmonica. So we had fun with it.
Another thing I wanted to ask, you've done several solo tours in Australia, of all places. How did you come to perform in that area, and what is the Australian blues scene like?
Yeah, I just got back a couple weeks ago from my third tour since like April of 2011. So I am racking up the frequent flyer miles. They go all the way over to Western Australia.
Yeah, that's a long plane ride.
Yeah, it's like 25 hours one way in the plane from
Ooh.
LA to Sydney, Sydney to Perth. But some friends of mine, the help of a couple agents and here and over there, and the Perth Blues Club in Perth, who has a 20-year history of running international blues. They have they don't call it a blues society there. It's more like a blues club, but it's the same thing. And really good network have been bringing me over and doing more and more festivals and more clubs. And it's turned out to be a really good thing to try and broaden my touring to an international status. And then I hire musicians that are from there because it's so expensive to try and fly my band over. We're working on it. We're trying to get to that point. But for now, I go by myself, and then I work with Dave Hull is a slide guitarist from Australia. Some of you might remember, and his rhythm section backs me when I'm in Western Australia. So they had a great scene. We played Bridgetown Blues Festival 3 nights with Charlie Musselwhite and about 20 other really good local bands. And I think there were 14, maybe 15,000 in attendance.
Wow.
Sold a lot of CDs, and it's been really each time it feels like it gets better for me. And then I'm broadening over to Southern Australia where I played in Adelaide, and they have a really good um, scene there too. It's a smaller community, but extraordinary musicians and music program at the university there. So I worked with a different band, backing me, learning my stuff, and played a show at a club called the Gov. So we had a blast. It was really fun, really fun. And a lot of just feels productive when you're out there and you're working hard and you're 10,000 miles from home, and so we'll keep doing that.
Well, speaking of spreading your national and international fame, you're getting a lot more airplay on the satellite radio nowadays, too.
Yeah, it's picking up. It's gratefully because as an emerging artist, Bill Wax with his radio program, the Bluesville, BB King's Bluesville on Sirius XM. He was playing a lot of from the last year and a half of the live CD, my live CD, and East St. Louis was the song that was getting the most airplay.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one. That's a great song.
Yeah, so that's good, and kind of another tie again to St. Louis and my home away from home down there.
Well, I want to remind everybody about your upcoming show at BB's Jazz Blues and Soups on December 15th. And in closing this interview, I would like to ask you to say something directly to your fans that will be in attendance.
Hey, well, cool. Thanks, Angie. Sure. Yeah, everybody out there with BBs and all you wonderful music people in St. Louis, and the folks at KDHX and the listeners there too. And hope to see you Saturday night. We're way overdue for a show at BB's, as well as a brand new CD with artwork shot at BB's, and you got to come down and celebrate Christmas with us. It's just a few days away, Saturday night, 10 o'clock, and a great local opener. Oh, I can't think of the name right now, excuse me, but I hope you all come out and show up early. It's going to be a crazy good time. We'll have the CD and all of our other releases available, and the full band playing the whole night from 10 until we close it down, usually around 2:30.
That's sure to be a great time. Thank you, Scotty.
Thank you. Yeah, it'll be a great time. I hope you can make it too, Angie, and wishing you happy holidays. Thanks for having me.